So what can potential jurors expect during jury selection? When you get the summons in the mail and you arrive at the courthouse, and you walk into the courtroom, usually you're herded around like cattle as part of the process. There's a lot of waiting going on, and that's just part of the process. But the lawyers ask a lot of questions of potential jurors, and there's a very, very good reason for that. Because as a lawyer, it's my job to make sure that my client, who I've been hired to represent, can get a fair trial. The example I always use with juries, and it's very crude, but I think it gets the point across, is, I don't like cucumbers. That's the only kind of food I don't eat, okay? It's kind of silly, but it's true. So if I were to be called as a judge for a contest between a pie that has cucumbers in it and a pie that doesn't have cucumbers in it, I automatically have a built-in bias against the pie with cucumbers in it, okay? So in a situation like that, I should not sit as a judge for that kind of contest. So just like in the same thing can apply to a civil case. People come in with preconceived notions that they have deep ingrained in them, that they've had for a long time on particular issues that will be presented during a trial. And if a potential juror has already made up his or her mind about the merits or lack thereof of a case, then they shouldn't sit as a juror. And I think most people understand that. It doesn't mean they're not fair people. It doesn't mean that that there's anything wrong with that. But it's just, it has to be that way in order for our system to work. The kinds of questions that I would ask a jury would depend on the case. For example, in a civil automobile crash case, I try a lot of those cases. In a case like that, we always ask about caps on damages, whether people believe that in their mind, there should be a cap on damages, no matter how bad the harm is that someone has suffered. And we handle cases where people are very, very badly hurt, catastrophically hurt. Some people require care for the rest of their lives. Some people have a preconceived notion that the legislature should decide what that's worth. And that's not what our law is in this state, in the state of Florida. It's up to the jury to decide that, and they can decide whatever they want. But if people have a preconceived notion or a cap in their mind, that's something we usually ask about. Some people do, and that's okay if they feel that way. But that's something that the court considers as to whether that kind of case would be appropriate for that juror, or if that potential juror might be better suited for a different kind of case. Some people don't like lawsuits, and that's okay. A lot of people don't like lawsuits. And some people think that anyone who brings a lawsuit is bringing a frivolous lawsuit, okay? People who feel like that, we ask questions about that to try and figure out, which people feel that way. And sometimes when people feel that way, they're put on a different kind of case. Some people think that everyone who brings a lawsuit should get a lot of money, no matter what the facts. That's not right either. Those people also shouldn't sit on that kind of case. So the point here is not to get a jury that's rigged in your favor, but to get people who can be fair and fair to both sides. And so that's what the entire jury selection process is all about.